Bears. Ahem. Bears Country Podcast. Welcome to Bears Country Podcast. Bears Seahawks Pregame. I'm here with Nomad. We've got a couple of things we want to talk about tonight. Looked like a pretty damn good game. I originally thought we would have a shutout. I called it earlier actually on the Irish Bears Network. However, it wasn't to be. Nomad, how you doing, man? How'd you enjoy the game?
I enjoyed the shit out of that game. I enjoyed the effort. I mean, all the way down to the last second. Boy, them last couple of minutes of that fourth quarter, those guys was out there with nothing left but religion. They was just tired.
Nothing left but religion, man. I love how you said that, my friend. Dude, you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
This kind of goes back to the Lovie Smith era, right? The bend don't break defense, right?
Is that bothering you, or is that making you happy?
No, that makes me happy. A bend don't break defense is I would welcome that again, right? There might be some plays they give up here and there, but they don't give up the score. I mean, it was a shutout for the longest time there, and then it just started to kind of wear down on everybody. And the third team, led by Jacob Eason, he did a pretty good job. Started to come back and get some scores on the Bears. Other than that, I was happy all around. I mean, bend don't break. I'll take that all day long, buddy.
Lean into that a little bit, man. What is it? That style of defense opens the door to a bunch of people that want to be critical, because there's going to be plays given up. There's going to be, they're going to drive down the field and get into the red zone, and that's when that short field comes and works to your advantage. Mm-hmm. And you just tighten up and just constrict a little bit with your defensive style, and you just hold them to a field goal the best you can. Mm-hmm. That is not popular with everybody. So if you want to lean into that a little bit, go ahead.
No, I'll lean into that for sure. When you're out there as a defense, this, Nomad, playing a defensive back out there on the island, when you're giving it all you have in the game like that, they're giving it, we know with this team, what they want from them as a coaching staff. They want them to go hard at it in the paint at all times, right? So that's going to take a little bit out of you at the end of the game. Like if you can give it all you've got, right? And just sure, they might drive down the field, get into like the 30-yard area, the 20, they might get into the red zone, but then you don't break and you just hold them to field goals. All you can ask for besides that is turnovers to get your offense back on the field, to try to add to that and then get some points. If you can hold in the field goals and add with your offense to that, get some turnovers, add some more points that way, it's a winning formula.
Now, you just walked right into my wheelhouse, right? Since high school,
I hope so.
College, I played the 4-3, and I understand the strategy. And I can tell you that the goal is to, if all else fails, we get down to the red zone, and we can really, like I said, constrict on them. We can really, really force our hand and get aggressive and force them to do the things that we want them to do and stop them. Mm-hmm. And if we get out of that game with them scoring maybe a touchdown and 2 or 3 field goals, that's a good game for a good defense.
And like Mickey says here, yards are not points.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. It doesn't look good in the box score. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look good because you get a whole bunch of dink and dunk teams they'll wear that shit to a nub. But Mickey's not wrong. Yards are not points.
But that just wears down the team like psychologically, right, Nomad? When they're pounding and they keep hitting yards and they're not getting points out of it, they're just getting field goals and then maybe a touchdown and then a couple more field goals. That adds to the psyche of the team, right? It starts to wear them down psychologically. It starts to beat into them that you wear on them to where they start to think they can't score on you, and your defense, vice versa, starts to believe they can stop them. And it's a winning formula.
When it sets in, that's when you start seeing players or a coach. Somebody's gonna go over there and knock the hell out of a Gatorade jug because they pissed off they can't get in the end zone. And they
Exactly.
mad at the world. Like, what the fuck is going on out here, man? Come on, man. Yeah, that happens really in a game.
When you start to see it on the sideline, when the other team's sideline is getting frustrated,
Yep.
you know you've got them.
Yep. Every time.
Leo Factor says D-line looked like 300 Spartans in the first half in the end zone to keep the Seahawks out. I mean, yeah, it was fun to watch, man. They were just all the things we've been talking about, right? It's all. I mean, it kind of upsets me that Flus didn't go for the challenge on that catch by Isaiah Coulter, because he would have been not only would he have been 2 for 2 in the winning category, but he would have been 2 for 2 in the red flag category too, right? I mean, that was clearly a catch.
You gotta chalk that one up too. And I'm just gonna assume that he wasn't getting information as fast in his ear that he wanted to. I mean, I'm just gonna be devil's advocate on that.
He must not have been.
Otherwise, that was just a damn fool move.
Well, they went into the punt formation and then took the delay of game, right? So, or did they call a timeout? I think it was a delay of game.
Looked like plenty of time to me.
Yeah, so it seemed like to me they were going to actually come back and throw the red flag on that, but they didn't, which I was very shocked that they didn't actually.
Well, it could have been. It could have. I'm again being devil's advocate. Could have been, okay, I want to see my punt operation out there more than I want to see a challenge. I don't know. I mean, coaches think different.
True. I thought kind of the same thing as the game in that moment was going on too. But the one thing I did like, did you notice Eberflus tonight? He looked a little more serious than he did last game, right? The look on his face was just a little bit more serious. The last game, he was kind of had this fun look on his face, like this is my first game coaching, and this time he was kind of like more dialed in, like I don't know, just something I noticed. Maybe it's just me.
No, I seen his lips tighten a couple of times on a few different plays. You can tell he saw some things that like, oh no, that's not gonna work, and I'm gonna have to talk to some people after this.
Right.
And it's the accountability thing I think went through his head when you saw that. It's like, okay, I hope somebody's writing this down because I'm gonna write it down because can't have that. Whatever the mental errors were or positioning errors were, as far as people not being in alignment and missing tackles and things like that, whatever it might have been, you can see he saw it for sure.
Yeah. We had some false starts tonight too, which we didn't have we had more penalties tonight than we did last week.
Yeah. Let me see. I think I got that wrote down somewhere. Sean Coleman and Davenport. Davenport is he's washed.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to be sounding like a final verdict on a football player because I'm not there with those guys and I'm not on that team. I don't see them from day to day, but from what I saw today on that field, he's washed. Yeah. He just got beat. He got the hell beat out of him multiple times. And Coleman, it was just mental errors mostly, and he got the hell whooped out of him too in some reps. He got beat. I mean, guys just went right around him. So
yeah, you could clearly see what was working, like who was doing well and who was not tonight, right? Good. He was one of them. You could tell was not doing well.
We're talking about Coleman or Davenport?
Coleman, yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. I mean, equally bad. And
how about? Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, to that point, how about Tevin Jenkins?
Oh, my Lord.
First game playing at right guard?
You go ahead and go.
No, I mean, first game playing at right guard? For a guy that's been through all the shit that he's been through this offseason and everything has happened to this kid, right? What a fucking beast he is on the field. I mean, he was mauling guys out there, man. He played really, really well tonight at right guard for the first time. I'm so impressed with just the person he is to pull together through all of the shit he's been through and get out there and maul shit around on the field tonight.
Let me tell you how impressive I thought that was. For one, like you said, just getting through the fire that he's been through, just that storm that he's been through, and come on the other side of that into the light and just be thrust out there with the first team. And you know what? If I want to be an evil thinking motherfucker, I could say that, you know what, they put him out there to fail, to see if he would fail. You know, you've had no reps at this job in practice. You haven't played this position for the last 2 or 3 years. Only thing you've done is play tackle from left to right. And all of a sudden, we're gonna put this challenge on your lap and say, I need you to be good. And I need you to be great. And put him in there, thrust him in there with the ones against some ones.
Dude, Nomad, that's a great point.
Think about that.
Yeah. Because they could have been like, go out there and prove us wrong. Right?
Yeah.
If they put him out there and he fails at right guard, then at least they know they kind of know what direction they have to go in from there, right?
Man,
well, he's not a right guard. Right?
Listen, man. I'm gonna get it's kind of emotional when I get to thinking about it, because looking at somebody that's going through the trials and tribulations. I mean, I have not been a professional football player on a team in my second year in the profession, with the regime change and all the stuff that comes with that, family life, and everybody like you and me and any other person out there that's opining about my situation. I haven't felt that. Tevin's felt that.
Right.
And for him to come through that and keep all of that stuff in check, go out there and focus, and the way he performed tonight, my Lord, man. Man, take your hat off to that guy, man. Take your fucking hat off to him.
I take my hat off to him. I do. Just watching him on every play was impressive. It really was. He didn't fail me at all tonight in anything. Like, again, without watching game, you know, we'll have to go back and take a look at all of
I was just gonna say that, man. Without just on the surface, after watching it in real time, got to go back and look at the tape. But from what I seen in real time, dude, I was impressed.
My eyes did not fail me on that one.
I mean, God, Louis, I can go on. I can spend the rest of this podcast talking about how impressive that is for a young man at his age to be able to come through the shit that he went through. You know, that is big, man. You talking about the whole. I know we talking about Bears country here and Bears fans, but that shit went national. That was national media talking about this stuff.
All about being traded, all about speculation of his maturity level, right?
All kinds of stuff.
All that shit that nobody knows what's going on. I even said it myself. Maybe he drinks too much. I mean, I'm part of that. You know, so for him to come out there and prove everyone wrong, including myself, that, you know, resiliency is making him better. That's all you can ask for anyone. You know, you gotta get yourself through the resiliency and just learn from your mistakes and make yourself better from them. That's all. Whatever happens, just make yourself better from it. Live and learn.
And then Cap just runs out there with his mothball head and just starts running his mouth about what he thinks his sources are telling him. Man, get out of here, man. Get out of here. I know he's a national or locally sourced individual. I don't give a fuck what he is, man. But that was, looking back at that, how responsible was that? You know, you wanted to get some headlines, or you wanted to get people talking about something, whether or not he heard that or not. Even if I was in a position like Cap is in, I don't know that I would want to put that out there, because I think about the guy. I think about the person. He's a young guy. He's just getting his feet. I wouldn't want to put that out there.
Well, that would be like the epitome of the podcast that we did when I talked about is it possible that Tevin Jenkins drinks too much, and then like making the headline of the video, is Tevin Jenkins a drunk? You know, to get clickbait to it. You know, for him to come out and say, I have my own feelings about David Kaplan, and I'll just leave it at this. I think he does way too much in the Chicago sports scene. I think he needs to back off of some of the things that he does and just focus on his main love, which is the Cubs. I think he puts too much into too many other things to try to capitalize on the Chicago sports media scene, and I think he needs to just kind of back off a little bit because I think it's fogging his brain.
His job is to be a big mouth and make hot takes. That's it.
Yeah, and then make clickbait from it to get people to view what you're saying, and it's just. It's too much for me.
I'm not involved with this bear stuff to be, carrying anybody's water. I don't give a fuck about really anybody in this business as far as I'm concerned, but I don't want to make any enemies at the same time. I want to be allies and friends with them, but I'm calling a spade, Jack. Mm-hmm. He ran out there with some information or perceived information or whatever he called it, and I see something different. That's all I'm going to say about that.
And what business does he have having a podcast anyway? You're on ESPN radio, you're on NBC Sports, you're on this, you're on that. Now you have your own fucking podcast, so you can go out there and actually blab your own shit that you can't say on ESPN radio. Just keep it to yourself, man. Because
regular media forms are going by the wayside. We're the new media. We're the new, I guess, analysts.
I guess so.
He's getting a good, nice, fat check from whoever is paying him, NBC or whoever. We're not. However, he can smell the smoke coming, and we're right there on the frontier.
And that's why we like doing this, right? Because we're not trying to analyze it from the same perspective. We're trying to analyze it from the fans' perspective. And here we are, like with Mickey saying he spreads pure bullshit. We can say that, right? We can say that.
Agreed.
He can't. So this is what this is all about, is just us Bears fans trying to have our own voices in this podcast world of trying to keep things real and not having them just media fake driven bullshit,
I just want people that are listening right now and those who will listen later to know I am so new to this this whole frontier of podcasts. I'm talking about, when I say new, less than a year. I didn't even pay attention to it. I had other stuff going on in my life, and I still do. And it was just a world that I didn't pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, can't tell you exactly when that leaf turned over, but when it did, I noticed I got into it. I'm like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. And the more you get into it, you realize that, you know what? These people that's been given these microphones and these platforms, the rest of these people like you, me, and a lot of other people out here are going to come sneak right up on them. Mm-hmm. Right up on them. That's why you see so many, people from major platforms running their ass to these pods and stuff and trying to take
right. They're trying to corner the market before they can shut up the fans.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So
get all the viewership towards them and away from the fans, and then you've got it. Then now you're making even more money, right?
They've run away with the narrative for way too long, man, and it's time. Mm-hmm. It's time. You don't get to drive the narrative so much no more. You can put a narrative out there, but it won't be the only one.
Yeah,
we'll have something to say.
We damn sure will. We'll keep it going too.
Goddamn right. I see Leo in there. What's up, Leo?
Tevin Jenkins shutting up all the talk on the field. It's so happy. It's so refreshing to see that. I mean, it's just back to him. I know we kind of got off of him, and now we're back to him. But Jesus, he did a good job. I mean, fuck everyone. Good for you, Tevin. God damn.
It could have went way the other way. And
let's get into go ahead. Finish what you're going to say.
But no, that's pretty much it. It could have gone the other way, and it didn't. Man. Testament to him.
Right? He could have gotten pushed all over the field, made look like a fool. All I saw was a couple of pancake blocks and some other damn good blocks. I mean, he was in with the first team, man.
They pushed him right out the pan into the fire.
Right into the fire against a pretty good Seattle defensive front. And he held his own. He actually did better than that. He did a good job.
You know who else I was really impressed with? I mean,
Go.
really impressed.
Tell me, buddy.
Freaking Dieter Iceland.
No shit. Thank you.
I'm not kidding you, man. I seen that guy in there. I'll make another hot take for you. I would go so far as to say I seen enough to where I would move Mustafa to 3.
Me too.
I would move Mustafa to 3 and just let him get as many reps as I could to back up Patrick. I saw enough of. And again, I have to go back and watch the tape a few times, and I will ask you guys to allow me to recant that statement. But from what I saw in live in real time, I saw great things out of Dieter Iceland.
You see what Mickey says here?
Okay, Mickey. You disagreeing with me, or were you really watching, man? I just want to know.
Oh God, he definitely outplayed. Did you see what he looked like? He was limping off the field, and you could see him. He's going, "I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay." I was like, "Oh, thank God he's okay," because who else is going to come in?
He was like, "Oh, fuck that! I'm not letting this be the moment where I get cut. I'm going to fuck back out there."
No shit, man. He did very well. Very well. He should be the second stringer after tonight. That's for sure. I would agree with that.
I like him. I like that so much. Well, I can actually picture Dieter at some point or another being the best center on that team if he just keeps working. We talking about a guy, and I looked at it on another network. He had an interview, and he's only been playing football for so long. I can't tell exactly how long, but it's not been that long.
He came from another country recently.
Like Australia or something.
Yeah, something like that. I want to say Australia or like South Africa or some shit.
It could have been South Africa. I'm not sure, but somewhere way away from here, where football is not the culture.
Right, and to step
Rugby
on the field
and shit like that was a culture.
Mm-hmm. What was he, a walk-on last year? Was he even?
I don't know, man. All I know is he was a monster at Yale, but that's a limited view of what a football player can be at that position because they only see so much talent. But he has, what I've seen since he's been out there, is that guy steadily grow and add to his bag and get more and more competent. When you got a guy that's got a arrow going up and not like across, you got to work with. I would not let that guy out of that building.
A guy that goes from last season to this now in this season did very well tonight.
I think they left him out there for pretty much the whole second half. And sometimes you can perceive that, when a coach in a situation like this in his preseason, it's just like I was telling you before, it's just guys putting stuff on the resume for other teams to look at and judge whether they want to bring him in or not. I felt like that was a stress test for Dieter. Let's see what he can deal with. Can he put up with this can he make these calls, and can he I bet he impressed those guys.
Oh, I bet he did too. I was impressed. Little side note about Yale. My quarterback in high school ended up going to Yale as a quarterback. He was like the second or third string quarterback on the 94, 95 or something Yale team. Kind of cool. Mm-hmm. He did a great job tonight. I was very happy with him. Jake Tongas with the touchdown, huh? Pretty good.
Tongas, I think he's making a case for himself.
I think so.
I liked him last week.
Yeah. And he's been around on the team, I think. I remember him from last year. Maybe was he on the practice squad?
I don't know about that. I don't think he was there last year.
Maybe they just signed him. I
think he's
his name was familiar to me.
I could be wrong, but I think they signed him as a UDFA.
Okay.
You might want to check that out, though.
I will. I will. Well, maybe I can do it right now while we're talking about offense. Still continuing with offense, Velus Jones playing into uh, the second quarter. How about that, huh?
That surprised me.
Me too.
That really surprised me. I almost thought that was a little foolish.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
I value Valus and what he can bring to the table a lot more than what I need to see in a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
But coach is a coach, and he wants to. Guess he wants to harden his players, and that's kind of what I perceive some of that to be.
Well, he didn't play a lot, really. I mean, I just remember he had the kickoff was it the kickoff return or the punt return in the second half?
That was the punt return.
Okay, but I don't think he played much after that, did he?
No, I'm trying to remember which guy it was. One of those guys went down. Trying to remember who it was, but somebody went down, and somebody said, "Valus, you in?" And he went in, and he kind of played some snaps, but yeah, he was in there for a good minute, probably pretty much majority of the third quarter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he looked. That was a nice kick. That was a nice punt return he had there. That was, what was that, like a 38-yard return or something?
That was a little spark of electricity, is what that was. That's
So it looks
like, I'm surprised they did that. I wouldn't
okay.
have.
No, I wouldn't have either. I was surprised too. I wouldn't want to put him out there on a kickoff return or a punt return. I was just looking at Jake Tongas. So yeah, he's a rookie tight end.
UDFA.
And UDFA, yep. Yeah, we didn't draft him. But 6'4", 200 and something, 200 and I think I saw 250 pounds or something. But played. I mean, he got a touchdown, so good for him. Let's switch this over to defense now, man.
Hold on now.
What do you
Before you take off now. Hold on.
What, you want to talk some more offense?
I'm just trying to make sure. Hold on. Let me look. Dieter Davenport is trash.
What do you think about what Mickey says here? The starting tackles were underwhelming.
Okay, Mickey. I'm gonna challenge you, man. You got to be specific. Which tackle are you talking about, and tell me why? Give me something, man. You can't just say that's a little subtle, man. You can't just say both tackles are underwhelming and not have some kind of explanation. You got to say, since you've been watching this podcast and listened to Shorty and I talk, you got to have some kind of detail, man. Because if I say, let's say Davenport was underwhelming, he was out there with the second team, I believe, or third team, or probably both, I would tell you he was shit when trying to protect a speed rusher getting on his outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolute shit. He was just getting whiffed.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I was to talk about Coleman, absolute getting whiffed.
He's saying the starting tackles. So you're talking about Borum and Jones?
And it's what he's trying to say. But what did he see? When Justin was out there, you can tell that everybody was kind of nervous or something, because they were getting pressure on him pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But after Justin left, they seemed to settle a little bit. So you talking about at least 10 plays in, everybody starts to get a lather and calm down a little bit. They've kind of felt each other's speed as far as an offensive player and a defensive player.
Well, a lot of that Nomad has to do with, they know that Justin has the ability to run at any time, so they're probably a little bit more on edge as far as whether they're going to have to move out to block for him running, right? Whereas they know when Trevor Siemian gets back there, he's not. I mean, he's a pocket quarterback. He's standing back there as long as he possibly can, right? So that might add to some of their comfort level in the blocking, right? Devil's advocate wise.
Look at it this way. This is how I look at a football game, especially for, as it begins. You're pretty much dry out there in the first 2 or 3 snaps. And then you start to get a little bit of a lather, and you start, let's just say if you are an offensive lineman and you got this guy in front of you, you got your mind set in so many different areas how he could attack you.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of off balance and unsure about things. But let's say 10 plays into it, you start to get your lather and you kind of seen 2 or 3 moves and you kind of got a feel for how he's going to attack you. Now you kind of settle a little bit. That's what I saw out there. I think everybody settled down, but by the time that happened, Justin was off the field.
Right. But the first drive, I mean, they did drive down the field and score a field goal at least. So,
yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. You know, it's very unsure when you first go out there. We talking about a brand new right guard, a brand new right tackle. You know, Borum's been playing a little bit, but he's still pretty wet behind the ears. But you know, that whole right side was new pretty much, and they all are starting to play together, just starting to play together, and that can't be understated because that chemistry and that gel hasn't even started to form yet. But we got the next few weeks for it to happen. So whatever you saw was what you were supposed to see.
When you compare the right side of the line this week to the right side of the line last week, it's fucking night and day, Nomad, right?
Absolutely.
That's the first thing we all noticed last week. The right side of the line was caving in all around him. And that wasn't the case this week. I think, if anything, Jenkins helped Borum at the right tackle.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what they're going to do at right tackle. I don't know if they think Larry's the guy or they just, you know, they don't need to see Reef out there. They know what Reef brings to the table. They need to see Borum. They needed to see Jenkins, you know, and they need to see them next to each other.
They don't need to put the veteran out there to risk injury on him when they know he's recovering from his ankle injury last season. You know, this is the time to put Borum out there, especially if you're going to be looking at Jenkins at right guard. I mean, let's see what they can both do. I mean, shit, like I said, it seemed like Jenkins helped Borum at right guard or at right tackle without going with, you know, just watching the game in full speed as we see it.
I wouldn't be one to just run out there right now and say Larry Borum's my starting right tackle. I think the coaches needed to see more of Larry Borum and less of Reef because
100%.
Reef is proven. Reef is
100%.
proven. What do they need to see him out there for?
100%. Yep.
So careful with that, guys out there getting ready to make all these proclamations about who the starters are. Shut the fuck up and just wait. I know I'm harsh, Anna.
Just shut the fuck up and just wait.
Just wait. You don't know shit. You think you do. You don't know shit.
About this guy right here. That's what I love about him. Just shut the fuck up, and it's preseason, man. We're just evaluating, right?
They just ready to anoint people. Larry Borum just started now. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Shut the fuck up to you and Shaq. Just shut the fuck up to everyone, including us, right? Like this is all just fun speculation and talk. We're all just talking shit here. None of us know what the fuck we're talking about. We're just this is the point of podcasts. It's to have fun talking Bears shit, getting all the things that all of us brainiacs had to get off of our brains, right? We put you up in chat. We can talk with you the same maniacal Bears thoughts that we have. We're not coaches. We don't know what's going on out there. But the fun part is being a fan, right?
You know what it seems like sometimes? It seems like watching these shows that these guys it's like today I was in the show and guys that they've gotten, and I understand it. You know, you get a certain kind of following, people start listening to you and they start respecting your podcast and what you have to say, and you start, you know, in a certain kind of way, kind of feeling yourself a little bit. And sometimes you start really actually believing the shit you say. Like, dude, guess what? If your ass was GM material or if your ass was scout material or if your ass was coach material, would you be on this fucking podcast?
I would be sitting here doing this shit with you.
Stop clowning yourself, fool, and stop acting like you got the fucking answers. You don't. You don't understand shit.
All right, we should probably cut this podcast off the air then, because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna always preface my statements by saying, "Hey, I'm not there. I don't know what's going on, but based on the things that I've seen and understand, I'm gonna give you that perspective instead of okay. I think Roquan's not a top. And I'm not doing that with you. I'm not going to diminish his worth or his money. I'm not doing any of that.
Right.
I'm gonna wait and see what happens and say if I think it's fair or not.
Yeah, that's all we can do. It's it. You want to go into defense now?
When you're ready, man.
Dude, I'm ready. What do you think about Kyler Gordon tonight?
Clunky.
Yeah.
Straight off the top. I mean, he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready. He was to me it looked
a little rusty.
It wasn't that. I think that he's on the next level and guys aren't quite the same on this level as they are in college, man. These are some. I seen him in that hole with number 25, and he was just like, "Hey, man, that dude's kind of big. I might have to miss this tackle." And seeing them legs on that son gun.
Yeah, you got smoked on that long run, right?
When you watch that again, you can see he made a decision. I saw it in real time. You know, but when you watch it on tape, you'll see he made a decision to whiff. It's like that dude's a little bit bigger than I thought he was.
Your defensive backness caught up on that one.
Right away, I'm gonna see that stuff, man. Right away, I see it.
Yeah, that was. I noticed that right off the bat. I was like, "Oh man, come on, got to pull through on this one, man. Let's make up for that. Let's get an interception. Let's do something." But he didn't really stand out, did he?
No, but it's what you would expect from a guy that's really not padded up a whole lot. He's been on a bike a whole lot. Yeah. Yep. And like anything else, man, you gotta tune up so you can tighten up. You gotta kind of ramp up and get yourself ready and so you can tighten your screws and be really, really good at your craft. And I think he'll get there, but you could tell he hadn't been on the field much.
What you think about Jalen Jones tonight, buddy?
My opinion is he ain't gonna be on the roster.
Yeah.
And I hate doing that kind of stuff and saying that kind of stuff, but I don't think he can make it.
Yeah, he got fucking smoked like 2 times in a row by, what the hell is their quarterback's name of all people? I mean, 2 nice passes, by the way. What the hell's his name?
I saw one in particular in this, and I seen 2 plays, and the second play I didn't think was all of his fault. I think the safety was late on the help, but that was the 2 I noticed. But again, I got to go back and look at it. It's been a rough week for me. What's the hell is the quarterback's? What was his name? Which one?
The Seattle's quarterback, the starting quarterback tonight.
Geno Smith.
Oh, goddamn! Thank you, Geno. He had 2 really nice passes on those. The passes that he threw that Jalen Jones got burned on twice in a row. That was disheartening for me. The first one was a nice catch. The second one was actually it was caught, but he like dropped it right as he hit the ground. But he got smoked nonetheless. I don't think he's making the team. He better bounce back from that, right? This is the guy that you were like looking at that you were kind of had some high hopes on.
Say that again. Who?
Jalen Jones.
Yeah, man, dude, this.
He got smoked on the nice deep ball by Geno Smith on the sideline, and then he hit him again after that. And then he caught it, but he hit the ground and dropped it. But Jalen Jones was still he was taking advantage of on both of those plays back to back.
It's you know what, Shorty, it's hard to really, really, really come down on a guy for me without really looking at the context of how the coverage was set. Sometimes every now and again you can watch a play that happens so fast, and in real time you just assume, okay, you just got screwed over, and then you go back and look at it from a different angle or from a different viewpoint, then you can kind of surmise what that coverage was, and then where maybe that may not have been all of his fault, but but I don't know, but it's hard for me to jump down. From what I seen in real time, it didn't look good.
No, real time me either. We have to go back and watch the film, but I mean, you're talking about from last week's defensive backs to watch with Lamar Jackson and Jalen Jones being, two of the guys you wanted to watch. Lamar Jackson clearly played well tonight. Jalen Jones kind of had some off moments. As far as defensive backs, you're looking to see make the team, right?
From what I've seen in the last couple of games, until somebody shows me something different, or if who knows, Kendall Vildor can get out there the third preseason game and show me something that I haven't seen since he's been playing for the Bears. Until then, I'm starting Lamar Jackson at the LCB, left cornerback.
That's where I was gonna say next, because that was one of your guys to watch last week, which was Lamar Jackson, and he played pretty well. And then tonight, I think he showed up again, right? He and in fact, he kind of reminded me of Jerry Azuma. I know he's wearing the same number, which probably is why he reminds me of Jerry Azuma, kind of like Treston Ebner. Kind of reminds me of Rashawn Salam in some weird way, because he's wearing 31 and he's kind of a bigger back like Rashawn was, although he's a lot faster and more elusive and has better hands and better awareness, and he's just an all-around better back. But just when you see certain players, right, they tend to kind of remind you of players past because of their build in the uniform wearing that number. And to me, that's Lamar Jackson. He kind of just, I don't know, so for some reason kind of reminds me of Jerry Azuma. I mean, and if he played as well as Jerry Azuma, that'd be a plus, right?
A couple things to that. I don't disagree, but I was listening to something today when I got done. I went and did my mother's landscaping and all that shit I have to do. But when I was leaving, I was listening to the radio, and I was listening to someone say, Chicago holds on to the past too much. And the way that person described it, and I was just like, you know what, man, that's true. We do compare everything to former players and former teams.
I just did it again, didn't I?
Yeah, you just did. I do it too. It's not like you're not a solo act on that, man, dude. That happens so often to where it becomes second nature and you don't even notice it. I do it all the time.
I think it's because we're starved, right?
That's exactly what it is.
I know. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of hearing about the 85 Bears, Nomad. I really am. I love the 85 Bears with all of my heart. I've lived every single fucking moment of them over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm just ready for something else to talk about but that. It's just been too long. It's time to move on from the 85 Bears, but we can't, because we can't win another one. Until we do.
Reverse that can't.
Oh, sorry. We haven't been able to win another one since
to this point.
Thank you.
And I refuse to let what happened yesterday determine what's going to happen tomorrow.
Up until today, we haven't won another one yet. And can you imagine if 2006 won that? We wouldn't be talking about 85 anymore, right? We'd be comparing everything to 2006, right?
No. 85 was that special. The more and more you look at it, it was that special. Now I'm gonna give props where props is deserved, dude. That was a monster fucking team.
It was a monster team, but let's just go off on a little fairy tale land. What if the Bears won in 2006 and 2007 back to back?
We'd still be talking about it. I believe so, man, because it was that iconic, though. I mean, you gotta think about it from think about it from a viewpoint that's not right here where gravity pulls you to earth. Think about it from above and think about the iconic characters that were a part of that team and what they are now. You know, those guys will go on forever. Forever. You talking about Walter Payton, you talking about Mongo, you talking about Dent, you talking about Wilbur Marshall, you talking about Mike Single. These dudes are legends.
Do you
Legends.
think that all the 30 somethings and early 40 somethings are still talking about the steel curtain from the 70s, or are they talking about the last Steelers Super Bowl? The pass to Antonio Brown in the corner of the end zone against the Cardinals.
Man,
Are they talking about that one?
I know Steelers fans from multiple generations, and they still lean back to those steel curtain days. And I'm not saying I hear that from somebody that's 30 years old. No, I'm not saying that. But I know layers of Steelers fans. Their fan base is pretty thick, and you meet them everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm just saying,
yeah,
when you compare teams that have won multiple Super Bowls, like, are they still talking about that one team from that one era that was,
you hear more about that Bettis era now. Jerome Bettis and that team with all those dudes on that team. You hear a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
you don't hear about the one that beat the Packers though, right?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so I guess to your point, they do kind of hold on to the more special ones, right? Because that Packers Super Bowl was the one that against the Steelers. That was the first Super Bowl I have not watched since I turned 18, because that was so painful after that fucking championship loss that the Bears had to them that I couldn't even watch that Super Bowl. I have no idea what happened in that game. Couldn't even tell you.
I'm glad I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch it.
I know one thing. As we go on this podcast, man, one thing I want to be for sure about is what I see now. And what I see now is a blueprint for a championship medal team. And I can go on and what I've seen in these first two preseason games, which is nothing to your average person that's going to listen to this podcast. They'll be like, man, you really going to talk about No, I'm talking about two preseason games. And I'm talking about a guy that came in with a plan and established it, laid the foundation for it, put the groundwork down, and you're starting to see the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
The draft picks, dude, other than Hicks and Zachary Thomas, Hicks, I think may have an excuse. I think something's really wrong with him. But Zachary Thomas he's not impressive right now, and I understand why. He's just not NFL strong right now.
Right.
But the rest of those guys, Kyler Gordon, he needs to play out there and kind of really get his feet wet and feel NFL power, NFL speed, and adjust to it. That's what I see needs to happen with that guy. Dominic Robinson, go ahead.
I was just saying, how long has Kyler Gordon been practicing to even be back on the field to play in a real game? You can't expect anything. If he had been playing the entire preseason or training camp, and then makes it to the field in the first game like Brisker did per se, but missing all the time that he missed, it's you can't expect anything from him from this game. I mean, I was hoping for, Hall of Fameness right away, but you can't expect that if they're missing that much time.
So I'm gonna put it to you in these terms. Look at it this way and just try to picture what I'm saying here. When you come into a program like that and they've got you paired to take over the island, pretty much is what the left side cornerback is. And you go over there and you perform well. But you told these guys over and over that I want to be in the mix. And that means I want to be down there on the inside. I want to be able to go down there and make plays. That basically told him that he preferred to play nickel. And what that means, until you play that spot and feel the power and the torque that some of these running backs and different players, tight ends, and different players that are meaty and beefy. Until you feel the power of one of those guys or two of those guys, you don't know what you're getting into. You want to be down there with all that smoke? Okay, we'll put you down there and let's see what happens. After that, you be glad to go out there on that island and chase receivers. I've been there.
I know.
Oh, man, dude, them some big dudes coming up out of there.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to give it to him. Give him all the credit for just getting out there in his first game and getting it under his belt. He'll play a lot next week too. As long as he stays healthy, we'll see a lot of him next week, and that'll get him ready for the season. I have to ask you a question. I just figured out what the crickets means, Nomad, in the comments.
Ain't nobody here.
Are you outside?
You hear the bugs?
Fucking crickets in the background of you talking. Yes.
Damn, my bad. I didn't realize I had this window open the whole time. But I've been smoking marijuana.
Good for you, man. You should be in your legal ass state.
Cricket's over, man. I just closed the window.
There we go.
My bad. I didn't know you can hear that.
Somebody put in the comments. They put 3 crickets in the comments of like the last show, and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" Like, and because it was like our best show. That's what it was. We got the window open. I remember that the last show too. I remember hearing crickets in the background. I was like, "Is this guy outside? Like, is he sitting by his fire pit in the backyard?"
Man, you supposed to be my vanguard and tell me when you hear shit, man. You let me just go out there like that.
No, I forgot. It was such a good show. We went off, and I was like, I think I heard crickets, but I never got to say it to you.
Hold on now. Who put the crickets in there?
Is there what?
Who put the crickets in there?
I don't know. You have to go back and look at the last show's comments.
I kind of got an idea, and I think that was
No, I wouldn't. No, don't. I'll explain it to you later. Don't go.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but that might have been a little slight.
Maybe, but maybe not. We'll talk about it later.
We'll
see.
But
now at least I understand. There's fucking like I heard it last time. Crickets in the background. I was like, he must be in his backyard, like on the phone.
I pretty much am, man. I'm on my back porch. I turned it into like a little studio.
That's awesome. And you got crickets back there, dude.
Dude, I got the window open all the time back here, man. It's nice. My bad, though, man. I didn't know y'all could hear.
That's hilarious, dude. That is so funny.
Cricket Nomad. Damn, man. I can't believe how many episodes, man. And you just now telling me this shit?
No, it was just the last one. That's all. So you're up there where it's like, what's the temperature there? Like 60 degrees right now?
Shit, it's probably like, I don't know, probably like 68, something like that. I don't know.
Of course you got your windows open. Like I'm in Georgia, or right now I'm in Florida, and I can't have my damn windows open. It's hotter than hell here, man.
At night, how hot is that night?
Hot enough to keep my air conditioning at 68.
Hell no, man.
Yeah. No, it's probably in the 70s right now. Like mid 70s, high 70s. Yeah, it's brutal.
But I before you ready to wrap this thing, Tevin Jenkins and Dieter probably was the two people, and Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Those 3 dudes, man, really impressed me tonight. Bo Pete Keys too, honorable mention.
Me too. There's a couple things I did want to mention. Did you see DK Metcalf when they were asking him? He was like, coach only put me in 3 plays. That kind of made me mad. I wanted to play more. Like, dude, they decided to do a $25 million a year contract, and you think they were going to put you back in the game? You fucking kidding me? And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go talk to coach about this after that." Did you see the interview with him on the sideline?
I mean,
I just want to get that off my chest. Like, come on, dude, really? You're a $25 million a year fucking wide receiver. Do you think they're gonna play you more than 3 plays? Come on.
I understand he understands that, but he knows that. But how about me defending the player? Because I don't think people quite know the kind of physical nature of preparing for a football game you have to go through. Like, dude, this is when I say blood, sweat, and tears, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Just your regular workout will have you down to your last molecule, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And you getting yourself ready. You prepping. You're in the plate. I mean, in the classroom, and you listen to all these calls and telling you how they're gonna do this and they're gonna set you up for that. And next thing you know, the dude only tells you you're only getting 3 plays,
Right.
and you kind of disappointed, man.
Yeah. But come on, nobody wants to get injured in a game like this, right?
Some guys take it.
To say that on TV, I thought it was just kind of if he was joking, okay, but just kind of seemed like
Tyler Lockett said the same thing, kind of, and then just kind of cleaned it up afterwards.
mm-hmm.
Same thing. He just said, like, dude, you had us out here doing all this work and preparing, doing all this stuff. We could have just been chilling, but we was out here busting our ass, and we only get 3 plays. Man, come on, dude. We on national TV now. Don't forget that. That's when they really want to shine.
Right.
On national TV, whenever that's happening, them dudes want to perform.
That's true. Thursday Night Football. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Good call.
Just saying.
The last thing I want to wrap it up with, Geno Smith kind of had the knee wrap. I hope he's okay. I don't like to see anyone injured in the game. Plus, not to mention the collision earlier in the game with oh God, who was it? They remember the point in the game when they were down on the field and they brought the cart out.
Caleb Johnson, and Damian Lewis.
I hope those guys are okay. I think Caleb Johnson was walking off, but I hope Damian Lewis is okay. That was you never want to see that on the field. My heart goes out to both of them, especially the Seahawks guy. I hope he's okay. That's you never want to see injuries like that ever, especially in the preseason. I mean, that's just it's awful. I mean, injuries like that. I mean, I know you've had some injuries in your career, right?
Definitely.
Like, what's your worst injury, Nomad?
My worst injury, I haven't had a major injury on a football field. When I say major injury, I'm talking about like torn ligaments, and I've had broken arms, and I've even had a broken leg, collarbone. I broke shit, but that's not to me a major injury especially when you're a young guy and 2-3 weeks and you're back to starting to work. But no, I've been fortunate to not have major ligament damage and things like that, cartilage and stuff like that. Never had that.
Neck or any, like obviously neck or anything, when you see the cart come out like that, you wonder like what happened to the poor kid. Was it a spinal injury, a neck injury, knee injury? I mean, what was your as a football player, what was your most feared injury? I mean, I can imagine it's probably spinal, right? Or did you not even think about that then? Like at the time when you were playing, what was your most feared injury?
I never really worried about an injury, and I thank God, because if I would have been thinking about it, it probably would have happened. But after the fact, thinking about it and picturing myself out there in different scenarios and different plays, I am absolutely thankful to the higher power that I never had a spinal injury with the aggressive way I played football. And I mean, that's my quality of life. I'm so thankful for physically, you know what I mean? I don't have any major ailments. And so, everybody doesn't have, they can't tell you that. I know, I don't know Jerome Bettis, but I know people that know him. Jerome Bettis doesn't move very well.
I bet not.
And he's not very old, man.
He was a big guy when he played, though, too. You can't imagine he's much smaller now, right?
I mean, he's not. I don't think he's overweight and just obese or anything like that.
But he's always just a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't be like limping and hurting to go up and down stairs or anything like that. But that's the price you pay to be a professional football player. You run that risk.
Yeah.
And when everybody gets to opining about this player or that player, they not doing this, they not do, dude. They're not, especially like somebody like Roquan in particular. Like that guy, dude. I'm not gonna really get into that because I know he knows that this could be the last opportunity for him to secure the kind of financial resources that can take care of a lot of people and himself for a long time.
Right.
So he's got to do this right.
Right. Generational wealth. Yeah.
Right.
And I never really thought about injuries either when I played, but looking back on it, I would have to say it was probably an ACL. Although I never even thought about spinal injuries back then. Like just that they never really came into fruition in my brain until you started to see them over the course of the years watching the NFL and hearing about players that died on the field because of them and things like that. So
you remember that guy? I think his last name is Stingley.
Stingley, yeah. I think it was Derek Stingley.
Yeah. Derek Stingley's, I think that's his grandfather, I think.
Yeah.
His grandfather played in the league and just went in, and Jack Tatum and that so easily could happen to anybody, just one contact, and that's it. That right there, that hit right there, in his situation, looking at him in these ESPN short stories and things like that, watching his story and how he had to live his life after that. That's the kind of stuff that really spooks me, and why I'm grateful that maybe it was worth it for me not to have an NFL career.
I can understand that for sure, man. I mean, that would be, the more and more injuries you start to see over the course of time, they build up in your mind, right? And you kind of like, you can imagine it's got to fuck with people in today's NFL. Like you see, shit like the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott, just blown out his ankle like that on a simple run, like
simple run.
Huh? Yeah, it's one of the worst ankle injuries anyone's ever seen, and nobody even touched him. It's
Shorty. It's not it's one of those things to me. I look at it this way. It's a lot of people out there that's constantly, oh, you make all this money and you shut up, you all this, you make too much money to be talking. Like, dude, right. Do you understand that at any given moment my life could absolutely change? This game is that violent.
The extra $2 million that any player might be looking for in a contract negotiation holdout could equal life or death to them.
I could make $100 million and not be worth a goddamn thing because my quality of life is shit. Just because of decisions I made on the football field. One split decision. How about that, big mouth?
Yeah. I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast, meaning that we hope everyone that was injured in today's game, including, what's his name? Seattle?
Seattle, that was Damian Lewis.
Damian Lewis. We hope you a swift recovery, buddy. We don't wish any of that on anyone. Anyone in the NFL. Hope he makes it. Hope he's okay.
Me too.
So I think that's another good one in the bag, buddy. Another good post game. Another Bears win. 2-0 in the preseason. Could have been 2-0 in the red flag area if you would have just taken it, because that was definitely a catch by Isaiah Coulter. I think he made a strong case for the special teams position on this team, right?
Isaiah Coulter?
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna make it, dude.
Yeah, maybe not. It was a nice catch either way, though.
Did you see? I know you got to wrap this up, but that was a cryptic statement that Poles made to somebody from ESPN where he said this team won't look the same in 2 weeks, possibly.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're gonna get rid of a whole bunch of guys and bring a whole bunch of other guys in. I don't see him making it.
Was that in the press conference I missed?
He said something to it. ESPN was all over the team, and he made a statement about the direction of the team and what he sees or whatever. And he said he quite possibly this team might be a whole different team in 2 weeks.
I mean, there's a lot of cuts going on around the NFL, right? We're cutting a bunch of players. Everyone else is cutting a bunch of players. It's going to add up to a different team, I would imagine. At least a few players, right? 5 players, at least.
It could be more. One other thing that I didn't say in the pod, but I noticed that Mario Edwards hasn't played a snap, and he's not on the injury report.
That's true. He didn't, did he?
No.
I haven't seen his name at all out there.
No. It could be some trades getting ready to happen or something.
Well, stay tuned. If there are, we're going to have some pop-up broadcasts to do, right, buddy?
That's about. Yeah, I'm ready for it, but yeah, could happen.
Well, let's wrap this up with another excellent preseason game. Bears beat the Seahawks tonight. What was the score, Nomad?
I don't remember. I've been drinking.
God damn it, me either. It's like 27 to 14.
And smoking.
Fuck me. Can't leave it on that. But we got. You know what?
It would have been funny, man. It would have been funny. You should have let it go.
This is even funnier because here I am trying to wrap it up, and I can't remember the damn score because I wasn't here to watch it because I was trying to set this podcast up. All right, ready, Nomad?
Ready.
Let's wrap this up.
All right.
Bears, Seahawks, post-game wrap-up. Bears beat the Seahawks 27-11. We're here with Nomad. This has been a great show. Nomad, you are the man. We'll see you Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, when we get some actual game film in and we do an entire recap on tonight's show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in tonight in the chat. We love you guys. Nomad, you're the man.
Thank you, my brother. And bear down.
Bear down.